Before we get into this week's episode of TWRR, also known as this week's review, I just want to very quickly wish both Bron and Roxanne Perez a speedy recovery and hope they get well soon. As I'm sure most of y'all may know this, but Bron has to undergo surgery, and Roxanne Perez has an illness, which is why she wasn't on this week's episode of Raw. If you saw my community post, so I'm just wishing them both a speedy recovery and a happy Valentine's Day. Anyways, welcome to this week's episode of TWRR, also known as this week's Raw review. The show where I review this week's episode of Monday Night Raw and explain both the good and the bad of this episode, but mainly the good, because going forward, I'm only going to talk about the stuff that I care about. So anything regarding the Vision, Penta, and maybe LA Knight, unless he's like under different booking management, as well as this tag match, and the whole Natty and Maxine storyline, I don't care about, so I will not be covering it in this week's Raw review, because I don't have the time or energy to talk about it. We opened up the show with Becky Lynch cutting a promo on about AJ Lee, since she just come back, and AJ Lee came out, and then they basically both cut a promo, or Becky came out first. I forgot for a second. And I really like this promo. I thought this was a really good segment, and they announced that Elimination Chamber, it's going to be Becky Lynch and AJ Lee, and I already know what WWE is going to do, as I've basically figured it out. They're going to have AJ Lee win the IC title, have her go into Mania as champion, only to drop it to Becky. That's the most logical thing, and that's honestly how I would approach it, because I feel like AJ needs one more title before she officially calls it quits in this new run. Although one thing that always bothers me about AJ is her personality. AJ Lee still acts very childish, and while sometimes it's very good, other times it just gets really annoying, and I just can't stand it, especially with the facial expressions from tonight's episode. We then go to Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio segment, where it was kind of cute, honestly, with a little Valentine's Day thing. I really enjoyed it. But the Stephanie Valkyria came out and basically asked Liv to choose her, and then she would just slap Dominic in the face. I thought this was a really well done segment, and also pretty genius that they actually acknowledged that had Dom and Liv do a Valentine's Day. And if you watch SmackDown, you have seen they went on a date, which I thought was pretty cool. We then get the first Elimination Chamber qualifier match between Rhea Ripley, Ivy Nile, and Lyra Valkyria. And this match is honestly a classic. It's not like some of the greatest triple threat matches ever, but I still thought it was really good. Rhea Ripley won as pretty much that was pretty predictable, but again, this match was really good that I couldn't overlook it, because honestly, this match, again, was just really good. The spots really executed very well, aside from one botch. I did really enjoy this. We then get a segment between Finn Balor and CM Punk, and well, I did enjoy this segment, and I am happy they acknowledge some stuff about Finn, how the top rope incident at Extreme was 2021. I'm not falling for it. I'm straight up not falling for it. You can't convince me twice that Finn Balor is going to win the World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, I would love it if it did happen, him win the world title and then go into WrestleMania. I mean, that's how I would book it if I was WWE. But I'm just done with believing in Triple H and having him and making me think that Finn Balor is going to win, because let's face it, he ain't winning anything. We then get the Americanos, I think that's what their names are, Talibé and Pete Dunne, versus Jevon Evans and the original Grande Americano. And again, this was a really great match. The matches were really good on this episode, honestly. Even though I'm not talking about, they were still pretty decent. And honestly, this was just the biggest highlight. Jevon Evans hitting a cutter on Talibé after they both jumped from both turnbuckles. That was just perfect. The American, not the Americans, Grande Americano and Jevon Evans ended up winning, and again, I just thought this was a really good match. However, since I actually don't care about the main event, this actually concludes this week's episode of Raw, or TWRR, whatever you want to call it. And honestly, this episode was pretty solid, you know. Like, nothing really major happened, which is the only reason that's why I'm doing TWRR like this going forward, talking about the stuff that I mainly care about. So this episode gets a 6 out of 10. But what do you guys think? Did you guys enjoy this week? Sorry about that. Did you enjoy this episode of Monday Night Raw? Or do you think I'm wrong in thinking that this episode was actually way better? I'd like to hear your opinions in the comments. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, and have a happy Valentine's Day. Deuces, ooses, yeet.